Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The New Nasty Boys. I'm your co-host this morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you decide to watch or listen to this thing, Billy DeVore, and standing next to me is my co-host,
Chris Weir. What's up, Nasty Nation? Welcome back to the Fart Dunge. Yeah, wafting. We're a bit higher up in altitude right now. We got a little chair sitch happening.
I did not break the chair.
No, but I will say you probably contributed to it over the years.
Sure.
You know, it's kind of like you weather it away after a while. Those screws don't just fall out.
No, they don't. I did strip them.
You stripped a few screws. But no, it was me. It was my derriere on the chair when it kind of wobbled out. So we are in a standing formation until we get the chair situation figured out.
Yeah, we are full. Oh, fuck. I just said his name.
Prone? Oh,
yeah, we're full.
We're prone.
We're prone. Wouldn't it prone be? Aren't we down? Isn't prone?
I thought going from sitting to, I thought prone was like standing.
I thought going into a prone position was squatting from all the Call of Duty I've played. Mm-hmm. You know, I've done a few tours in Black Ops.
A few tours in the basement.
A few tours. Pat McAfee. We're doing it Pat McAfee style. We're standing.
Oh, that's what it was.
I'll bust my chain out. Here we go. I'll rip my sleeves off. It's a party.
I'll have CTE. Who knows?
Who knows? The only punter with CTE.
Oh, he was an actual athlete? I honestly had no idea.
Oh, yeah, dude. He was a punter for the Colts for 12 years. He was an athlete. He had some rushing touchdowns.
Oh, my goodness.
Thrown for a few. Yeah, dude.
Oh, man, I respect him just a tiny bit more. Very little.
I respect the empire he has built. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, if a man's wealthy, you got to respect him.
You got to respect him, dude. And especially if they don't wear sleeves on ESPN. Come on.
Yeah, you're speaking my language.
You're hot in my sauce, right? Yeah, buddy boy. So we're doing it. How was your weekend?
It was pretty good. Let's see. I went to Commonwealth Sanctuary. That was a fun show. Had a nice little showcase of some fun comics in the scene. Also, I believe it was Halloween Thursday.
Yeah.
That was a fun time. I did Jack S.
Oh, whoa.
Didn't do anything. Got back here a little later than what I wanted. It was drizzling.
No kids, huh?
No kids, unless you don't count the ones chained up in the basement. No kids.
Thanks for holding on to those.
Yeah, exactly. Same numbers as before. No, I just chilled back here, and I trying to remember what movie I watched. I think it was something semi-scary. I don't know. I think I just drank, I got some Frankenstein wine that was over there.
Ooh.
I mean, it's like a 19 Crimes or something, but they put Frankenstein's face, or the monster of Frankenstein. Whoa. Put it on there, and I was like, I'm sold. I know what I'm doing.
19 bolts, is that what they call it?
19 bolts.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sometimes I'm on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think standing is really just letting the blood flow. Mm-hmm. And we're just, gets my brain moving. Dude, I didn't have any kids either on Thursday. Mm-hmm. We had one, well, actually, last year we only had 3 kids and it was all the same group. And they got half the candy. And we got one of the pillowcase size bags. We're going to have kids this year. No, not in my neighborhood.
No, and this is the second neighborhood I've lived in the past 4 years, and not a lot of people trick or treat.
That's crazy.
I know, and I remember when I used to trick or treat, we used to go continuously. We would try to circle the block and make sure we hit up all the houses twice. And now, we still have just so much extra candy. We just always feel like we keep dwindling off of how much we buy.
Yeah,
and still just can't figure it out.
Well, inflation.
That's what we got to do. That's what's happening with these kids. There's just not enough of them to go around now.
That's right. They've really downsized. It's expensive to have kids, so it's even more expensive to get that candy these days. It's tough. It's a tough economy, It's just brutal. Just brutal.
I'm going to be eating a ton of Kit Kats.
That rules. Kit Kats are great. What are your top 3 candies then?
Kit Kat is definitely in the top 3. Okay. I'm going to say anything coconut can F right off. Okay, Get that out of my bag. I'm going to say probably Snickers is one of the king candy bars in my mind. And then if you got to put me on the spot here,
I am
for the Kit Kat. Then we got the Snickers, and then my goodness, I'm going Twix.
Ooh,
I love that caramel.
You are a wafer boy.
I am. I really like it. I love textures, and there's a couple different types of sweetnesses in there, and I really do appreciate it. And you can put any of those in the freezer, which I do.
Yeah.
And then you got to be a little careful with the Twix. Twix can actually break a tooth because that caramel turns to cement pretty quickly.
Yeah, it does.
But those are the top 3: Snickers, Kit Kat, Twix.
Those are good.
What you got?
Those are good. Butterfinger, number one for me. Ooh, I love Butterfingers.
That's good.
And, the reason I love Butterfingers is a lot of the reason why people don't love Butterfingers is that peanut butter crunch gets stuck in your molars and your teeth. And I love it because then I just have it all day. And I'm just sucking around. I get a little bit more Butterfinger.
Molars, the original flavor savers.
Molars. That's why there's holes in there.
Yeah. There's holes in there.
That's right. Suck it right out.
Savor the Butterfingers. Those are pretty flaky, but they're good.
They're so good. And I feel like when you do hold them a little too long, they're everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
But that's, if you're talking Halloween candy, little feller, one pop in the mouth and then you're chewing around, you're golden.
Exactly. And also chocolate that doesn't melt, that's not really chocolate, I don't think.
No, it's not. Number 2, Reese Cups.
Classic
Chocolate, peanut butter, just amazing. You know, you can have it in 1 bite, you can have it in 2 bites, you can have 3 bites, but it's like there's so many different ways to eat a Reese's. So I'm going to go number 2 there. And then number 3, I think I'm going to go Kit Kat.
There you go, buddy.
Good wafer crunch, and you can get, a fun size still has 2 in there. So it feels like you're twice as much candy as you're actually getting.
It's fun. It's 2 little snacks.
Yeah, a little bang for your candy buck.
I like how we met there. Like we met in the middle at wafer.
Yeah, wafer.
It was pretty good. You're more of like the peanut butter variety. Yeah. I'm more of the darker, maybe white or like the milk chocolate.
Yeah, and we found almond brings you no joy.
None whatsoever.
None. Nah, no
Call
coconut.
the cops if someone's putting almond joy in my kid's candy.
No. You're like, you're passing this off as candy. Okay.
Please, put razor blades in there before you give my son an almond joy. You psychopath.
You insane human. Dude, my favorite thing was like on TikTok where people were like, this was in my kid's candy, and it's like a little thing poking out. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe I opened my kid's bag and there's just this sharp edge pointing out that's attached to this leaf blower.
That's funny.
Or a chainsaw. The guilt of the sword from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
The guilt of Rohan. They're like, they gifted my son the guilt of Rohan. Like, this is great. But yeah, dude, no kids came. For candy. And I'm glad you're holding those kids for me. Like I always said, don't say they're yours, they're my kids. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't allowed to trick or treat as a kid.
I forget that.
Yeah, so like when people talk about, I just didn't have it happen. So.
That is quite a bummer. Do you feel like you went extra hard in your latter years because all the repressed rage you might have had not being able to dress up like a little devil or a football player?
You know what it is? It's just I've disassociated with Halloween. People are like, I love Halloween. I get to dress up. And I'm like, I think it's fucking dumb.
That is great because definitely there was a point in my life where Halloween was one of the most important things ever. That's where I got to dress up, show my creative side, and also show off how much of an alcoholic I am with my friends.
See, I can do that all the time.
Exactly.
I didn't need a reason. And so I just moved past it. It's like, oh, you got too drunk on Halloween. Me too, but I also got drunk last Saturday. There's no need to gas me up for this shit.
Did I tell you one year I was 19, went to a Halloween party dressed up and got arrested. And
oh, shit.
I did, yeah. And awful year to choose to dress up as the Blue Man Group. I was not looking great. Fortunately, before I did get arrested, I tried to take as much as the makeup and everything off, but I looked like I looked like a zombie that just woke up like some insane movie. I had like blue all under my eyes. I had the cap off, but man, I was looking pretty rough in that jail cell.
You knew you were getting arrested, huh?
No, I didn't know yet, but it was at the end of the point of the night. We're out at like some like club thing, and I realized the guy dressing up in the skull cap and completely painted in blue, not going to have any luck with the chicks. So at the end of the night, I took the skull cap off, went into the bathroom, started to wipe off my face. Did very little.
Sure.
So I just pretty much just have a blue face with like, I look like the Joker, like in between Joker transitioning of like human face makeup and then his Joker makeup.
Yeah.
And then eventually later I got arrested because I told a cop to fuck off. So, my hands went behind my back the quickest they ever have.
Nope, he did not back the Blue Man Group.
No, he didn't. There you go.
He did it. Yeah, there it is. Come on, dude, that's fucking wild.
I got that mugshot somewhere. I got all 3 of them.
Ooh.
A gentleman's 3.
What? Oh.
Yeah, so there's some interesting photos. 2 of the
Turkey.
No, actually all 3 I was smiling in all 3 of the mug shots.
Oh boy. Is there a progression of smile where it's like, I know how to frame myself for this. I know where the good lighting's coming from.
It did get better. The first one, I looked completely blacked out. Also, side note, was also wearing makeup in that one. I was leaving play. It was the only time I ever did play. It was my senior year, and I went to a party after play, and I'm not sure if it was like a dress rehearsal. If you've ever had eyeliner on, that shit is difficult to get off. Mm-hmm. And so I went straight from play to the party. I was one of 2 people that got either cited or arrested. I was the only one that got arrested.
Wow.
I know. Well, I paid $7 for that vodka. So you bet your ass I'm trying to walk out past 2 police officers with it in my cargo shorts.
Yes, you should.
This is all me. This is all me.
This is it. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a Russian one. It's a Russian piece. So I got arrested that night and had makeup on for that photo with the eyeliner. And I just looked blacked out trying to smile. Blue Man Group, I looked insane smiling. I did look like because I knew I looked just absolutely out of my mind. So I just tried to make a big old stinking grin. And the third one, I was sober, but it was the best smile.
Yeah, well, of course, you're sober. You want to look clean. You want to look classy. And, you want them to update what's in their registry.
I needed to update my LinkedIn portfolio. So this is going on LinkedIn.
This is going on LinkedIn for sure. Oh, absolutely. That's the cover of my resume. It's your headshot.
See, check that out. I grew a half an inch.
Yeah, how about that? Big difference.
Check it out. Half an inch.
Yeah, they said booze hurt you. Now it made me grow.
Check out those eyes.
Check it out. Come on.
Completely locked in.
Clean as a whistle. Mm-hmm. I have never been in handcuffs. I have been given tickets. Like I did get. I had beer in my trunk, and I was on my way to work. Mm-hmm. Got pulled over, and they were like, "Hey, Mr. DeVore, what is this?" And I was like, "That is Miller Genuine Draft." And they're like, "You are 19." And I went, "I know."
But look at me. Come on.
Look at me. And they're like, "We're going to search the rest of your car." I was like, "This is all I have in here." Little did I know, my buddies had a little Tupperware container when we would drive around. That's where they put their weed. It was just under the passenger seat, a little Tupperware container with their bowl and weed and scale. Not great.
It's a scale.
Too much. It was too much. They're like, do you know whose this is? And I went, yes, I know whose it is. Is it mine? No, it's not. It is not mine. And they were like, okay, well, here's your ticket to come see us in court. We're going to take all this stuff. And I was like, okay.
And you got let off?
I got 40 hours of community service. And I had to pay like a $250 fine.
Was this Ohio?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Kentucky. They would have stuck it to you.
Oh, dude. Ohio, they let me, because it was where I grew up, too, in Newtown. Ooh. So I got to be like, Mom, Dad, who both were public servants. I'm like, please help me. Please. And I was like, oh, this idiot. Yes, fine. So, yeah. That was a blast. And then I drove to work, and I was like, I'm sorry I'm late. They caught me with the stuff I got from here. They're like, God damn it. So, yeah. No, that's the only time I've had a real kerfluffle with the law.
Man, I could go into some more details about mine, but we'll maybe do that for another pod.
Another day, you know?
Yeah.
Live to fight another day. So what? Okay, so Thursday we had Thanksgiving. I went to Chameleon.
Thanksgiving, yes.
Dude, okay. I have gotten very drunk at a Halloween party before. Mm-hmm. It was my freshman year of college, as in the first year I tried to go to college. And we went to UC. My buddy dressed up as a gorilla. And then Jake and I... Seattle correspondent Jake, we were just in street clothes, and Jake was just going around. This is 2008, the year of our Lord, and we were just going around, and he was going, hey, hi, I'm Barack Obama. This is my Vice President, Joe Biden. No costume, just saying that.
Jeezel Pete's.
Yeah, and I almost fell off of like a 20-foot drop at a frat house because I was so drunk. I was like wobbling, and my buddy grabbed me.
Were you in the gorilla costume?
No, I was Joe Biden.
You were Joe Biden.
In just street clothes.
Oh, okay.
The gorilla part is very important later.
Because I was going to say, if you're falling off a balcony trying to hold onto a building in a gorilla costume, that'd be pretty great.
It'd be pretty awesome. It's almost like it would be classic cinema. Mm-hmm. It'd be so close. And he pulled me in, and then I zonk. I'm gone. Well, he carried me through Clifton to his truck in the gorilla costume.
Oh my goodness. What a heroic thing to have happen.
In a gorilla costume.
Oh my goodness. I'm sure people were just applauding him.
Oh, I bet, dude. And he didn't get laid that night because he had to take me back to his mom's in Anderson. Drove my car, woke up, and then I was like, fuck, I gotta go to work. And I was still drunk through that entire shift.
As to pay him thanks, did you buy him a bunch of bananas?
I did. I bought him a bunch of bananas, and then that's it. And then then I got him the princess or whatever.
Good job, man.
It was really great. Yeah, and
didn't have to hop over too many barrels.
No, because you know what? All these video game references make sense because I was working a shift at GameStop.
Oh, there you go.
So working as in going, oh, I feel terrible. The guy's like, you should have called off, and I'm like, I don't get any hours.
I need the $7.50 an hour,
please. I need to feel this validation of gaming retail. So yeah, that's Halloween, not so much a real big holiday for me.
Oh, man. Well, you probably dodged a lot of bullets there. It's resulted in probably a net loss for my brain cells and my record.
But net gain for fun.
True.
And great stories.
Got some great stories.
You got some great stories, and that's what this is all about.
Mm-hmm.
So Friday, I went to Libby's Southern Comfort for some good fried chicken. Bounced around a little bit, chilled out at home. Saturday, watched FCC. Mm-hmm. Watched Alicia sing at St. Peter and Chains. Sunday, watched the Bengals at home. Made ribs. Saw our friend Carl perform his special.
Oh, yeah.
He smoked it, so be on the lookout for that when it comes out.
Check it out.
Check it out. Oh, that hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, how was the rest of your weekend then? Good, fine, whatever.
It was pretty good. Well, other than I'm trying to build, there's an entertainment system just off the camera there that I am going to turn into kindling. We got it. This was my first experiences off of BitFTA. Wouldn't you know it? It bit me in the A. I'm either going to commit to having this monument to my failure in this house for as long as possible, or it's going to be chucked in the woods and set ablaze. Those are the only two logical options.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
as a rational thinking man, I'm either going to make this a foundational element in my household.
Yeah.
I'll just shake my head at every time I walk by it and see all my mistakes, or I'm going to chuck it into the woods and let nature deal with it.
Or get that primal instinct of just setting it ablaze, dude.
Oh, man.
That feels good. You feel accomplished because then you have proven that you are better than the object that bested you.
It's been a while since I've set like a couch or anything of significant size on fire. Definitely college days.
Sure.
It's been a while since I watched a recliner go up in a blaze or any sort of significant entertainment system. And you know what? I might have to lose that streak coming up here.
I would like to watch because I know that is like BitFTA. It's a crapshoot. We got like one of those air purifiers and we plugged it in and it's like, what the hell? Why isn't it working? And then we opened it and someone like took a piece of it out to make it work to fix their other one.
Yeah.
And then returned it. I was like, you motherfuckers. Mm-hmm, so it's like, I know that is corkboard and that's going to burn green.
It's going to be so fun, too.
It's going to look so good with so many... You're going to have a tie-dye fire, dude.
I can't. There's like some lights, too, that are supposed to run through like the top of the thing that I'm going to keep. But everything else, it's probably going to be set afire.
A nice LED strip. You can put those anywhere.
Yeah, I was going to put it on the bar or something.
There we go. We can have some Frankenstein lighting. Look like monsters all the time, So fuck, dude. Yeah, that's a busy weekend.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And we didn't even really even mention the World Series. That would happen Wednesday, but who really cares, right?
Who cares? We'll get to it.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I did some comedy, doing some crazy stuff around here. Finally, if you've been keeping up, had some water damage and finally got all the fans out of here. So that one crew, the mitigation crew, is gone. Now I'm going to have the other crew come up here and rip open all the boards. And then I'm just going to have to bend over and just
take it, dude.
Just take it, brother. It's going to be, my kitchen is getting reamed.
Yeah.
But I know eventually it's going to be fine. It's first world problems. Yeah. But I tell you what, I hate having to wear shoes in my kitchen because there's exposed staples and nails.
Sure, but that makes it interesting, It
really does.
Who needs coffee when you can have a hole in your foot?
Oh, my goodness.
Wake you right up.
It really does.
Dude, and then just getting bent over like a good neighbor. State Farm's inside of you.
Oh, they're there.
they're feeling around.
They're filling up all the spaces. But it'll be fine. But it was just such chaos. Oh, and we're going to Boston tomorrow. Lauren and I. She's got like some work thing. I'm going to tag along.
Boston.
I'll tell you about it later. There'll be another show to check out, but I'll plug that later. So.
Yeah, we could reach our deep Boston demo. Dude.
Exactly. There's 4 of you.
Yeah, there's. Are you've done Wrigley, Jesus, Fenway? So
yeah,
I was gonna say there's like I don't know what else you do there besides just eat lobster rolls.
That's what I'm gonna walk around and eat. Lauren's got like work stuff to do. There's gonna be one comedy show I'm probably gonna go to Wednesday, and there's also we did do Fenway. Kind of funny thing is, last time we were there, we were at Fenway having a great time. Got a phone call. What's that? Lauren, your dog just died. Third inning? Sure. Yeah, we'll get out of here. We'll wrap it
up. So you can go there and less dogs will die.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a win. Mm-hmm. You can go 1 for 2.
I'm going to go there, eat a hot dog for Beak.
Oh, Beak dog.
Yeah, and then, so last time we went there, a bit of a tainted experience. Yeah. But still, other than that, great time.
Yeah, I've toured it. I just walked around it, and I was like, this stuff looks weird.
I got to tell you, lobster rolls, I honestly don't care for them.
What?
I don't. Lobster. Okay, I think lobster is inferior to crab, and lobster rolls would not be as good as crab rolls. I just think it's such a big hype, and we're paying for that hype. I'm not buying into it. Okay. I've worked in Joe's Crab Shack, one of the finest seafood culinary experiences you can have. I can tell you without a doubt that lobster that for sure was grown in the Ohio River was not that great.
Yeah, with 9 claws. Totally safe for consumption.
9 claws would yell at you when you put it in the boiling water.
But have you had fresh harbor?
I have had some fresh lobster in Boston. In some other places. I have had some fish outside of the tri-state.
Okay.
And I gotta say, I think crab is 1,000 times better. It tastes sweeter. It's a better texture. I find it's much less rubbery. I think there's like a rubbery quality to lobster. I'm not saying it's bad. I like it. I would much prefer crab.
Okay. I mean, I love crab, but I also love lobster. Mm-hmm. Did you have this lobster at another establishment not called Long John Silver's?
Why would I switch away from Daddy's favorite?
You're right. No, you're right. Why did I even ask? Why did I even try? Yeah. I should have stayed in that lane.
No, I'm sure there's some great lobster out there. I still like lobster, but it fucking always falls short of what I would expect. I guess always is told, like, oh, lobster, it's the best. It's so good. But, like, you got to do so much to lobster to doctor it up, to put, seasoning on it, butter. It's just like crab. I can just eat that plain, and it's great.
And butter. Okay. All right. Fair enough, man. Hey, I'm not going to fight you on it because I love them all.
But I'll fight you, Boston.
I still think the best is as an app, not as like the full thing. Like you have crab legs as the app, lobster tails always on the side with the steak, not as like the full thing, like a lobster linguine, which I fuck that shit up all the time.
That is really good.
But oysters number 1.
Oh, man, I need to get on board with oysters. I wish my palate, I have such a particular palate. It's both trashy, and I do think it's a refined trash.
Okay.
I love scallops. I can't get on board with oysters. I've tried. I need to go with you to a proper place.
You will go over scallops.
I love scallops.
Lobster. They're more rubbery. And they're easier to fuck up than lobster.
But I feel like there's more of I think the texture quality of it, when you bite into it, there's more, it fights back more.
Okay.
And it tastes more like a seafood steak, like a steak bite, scallops.
I get it. It's the filet mignon.
Mm-hmm, yeah, exactly. And then like the oysters, it's like a snotty thing. Mm-hmm. I don't like that, but I love mussels.
Mussels are great. Mussels, see, they're less slimy, but mussels have a less briny taste too than oysters. I just love a half shell oyster because of the different varieties from wherever they're from. They will always taste different. West Coast compared to East Coast, St. Prince George's Island compared to like Vancouver, like all the different types of water. Like you can taste all those little refined differences. I sound like such a pretentious
No,
asshole.
that's what I'm saying about all the Long John Silvers I eat at. Like, the one in Covington tastes far different than the one in Newport.
Dude, you are right. It's the way and what time the little fucking clam meat is deep fried. Mm-hmm. It's about, is it after rush? Is it before rush? Mm-mm. When was the last delivery?
When was the last time they cleaned out those little metal buckets that they dip them in?
Yeah, when will you just give me the crunchies for free again? Mm-hmm. This is all bullshit. I fucking love Long John Silver's, dude.
Dude, they rule.
They fucking rule. They're great. Speaking of like local fast food, did you see the demise of Frisch's?
How many are they shutting down? A bunch?
Like 30 of them, man.
How many are they going to have left?
Like 6.
Ooh, okay, that's a bit rough. That's a bit of a shot to like the nostalgia for a lot of people.
I know you hate them.
Well, the thing was, I grew up next to a Frisch's that I eventually worked at, which was such a sad 2 summers. But I did really enjoy getting to wake up and walk, through the subdivision and then walk kind of down the street to go to Frisch's with me and my friends. And it was cool. It was really cheap. It was like this little diner that was open, during the day, for you to kind of get like stupid food. And it was pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And they had a great breakfast bar. And then you can work there if you have no other means of employment and you are down in your luck and are living with your parents. And going through a car situation, so you need to walk to work.
Yeah.
So they're great for that.
Yes.
But it drew a particular crowd.
Yeah, it did, and that I think is a part of Frisch's downfall. Mm-hmm. Like when you look at the success of like In-N-Out and other regional burger chains, In-N-Out, Shake Shack, Whataburger, and I will use this one as my main example because I think this is a perfect comp. Is like Dick's in Seattle, in the Seattle area.
Okay.
It's known, like everyone knows, like, dude, Dick's is like the best cheap burger you go when you get it. And Frisch's used to be that. But then it's like they didn't adapt with their demo.
No.
Like you said, like the clientele in there, old.
Well, Billy, they can't serve food in hell. Okay? A lot of their clientele has moved on.
Yeah, they're like, how do we make our burgers softer?
Yeah, how do we just serve these burgers 6 feet under?
Oh, with the tube.
Yeah.
The tube, the big boy tube. We just send them down. It's a part of your coffin package at EP Brothers and Sons.
I would like to see Big Boy being lowered down in a coffin.
They got them all caged up.
That's great. They're going to escape.
Well, here's my big thing on why the Frisch's demise. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, like, you said, like, hey, you're down on your luck, Frisch's, you can walk to it, they can employ you. So it's like their employees are like, Frisch's is just like a revolving door. It's not like we don't care. We just got to get these burgers out.
Honestly, I do like the idea of employing felons, but if you're looking at per capita of felons for the workforce that's there, I've worked in probably a dozen different restaurants. Frisch's was the highest.
Oh, I believe it.
Yes.
Dude, I remember I drove by. I used to live by the prison, the jail, like downtown. And one time we drove by and there was people holding up a sign like, "Free AJ, we thinking of you." And it was 8 other Frisch's employees doing that.
I was there. I remember AJ. I worked with an AJ at Frisch's. I think I know him with his intercom on.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I think they let him.
He was a good dude.
Yeah, they let him keep it in the holding cell.
Yeah, he's still taking orders in the holding cell.
Yeah, what can I get you? Yeah, I don't know if we're out onion rings.
Pull him around to the second cell.
But dude, like, so there's that. Okay, so you got that side of it, and then you look at Dick's in Washington, where it's like, we want to employ young people. They help pay for their college. They pay them like $22 an hour.
Is this Dick's Last Resort, like that thing? Or?
No, like Dick's Burgers.
Okay, I'm a little unfamiliar.
Okay, so it's like a burger chain in Seattle that's known. It's been around since like the 50s.
Okay.
And they're little pop-up spots. They stay open late. There's like 15 locations. And it's like everyone in Seattle knows like, hey, if you want a late drunk burger, you go to Dick's. You get your Dick's, right? And it's a similar kind of burger with tartar sauce, bun, all of that. It's all very similar. But like the clientele, like who they hire, it's like, yeah, kids who are trying to get through college. We'll help you pay for your college and pay you $22 an hour, give like a real livable wage and all that stuff. So it's like, hey, we put in to our employees. We give a fuck. Look at us. We're trying to grow this so that they have a positive outlook when they're done and they're in college. Like, man, I loved working at Dick's. Mm-hmm. It was great. And then you hear Frisch's, it's just like, yeah, the guy who did a drive-by was fucking in a Frisch's shirt.
Yeah.
That's bullshit, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Terry got her purse stolen again. Come on, we know who it is. There's only 4 of us that are working the lunch shift.
Yeah. And then, so Frisch's, I remember my grandpa telling me stories. Like, yeah, we would cruise up and down Beachmont, and then we would pull into a Frisch's, get a big boy, get it late, 11, 12 o'clock at night. Then we'd go, we'd go home. Frisch's now is like closed at like 7.
That's the thing. They only catered to the very old crowd. And it was also, like, if you don't know, like, the margins were very low. So it was like if, like, a McDonald's, like let you sit in there and had, servers for you. So it wasn't great for the amount of money they would make, like, per table, per hour. And so the tips would reflect that.
Yep.
Especially on Sundays. So, yeah, they didn't really meet the trends of the new age. Or at least saying open later to cater to, like, a different sort of audience. Because they're situated in a lot of places where it's like, dude, there's going to be people out here that need to sober up and get, like, a good diner burger.
Yeah, and that's what Frisch's could have been. And they didn't have to keep the dining room open. The Dick's, it's a walk-up. It's a giant walk-up with a parking lot. Frisch's, I don't know how many of you have seen that have giant fucking parking lots. They were on a lot of space. Why couldn't you do that?
And they have, like, the 50s homage to it, so where you kind of has that culture of, like, the roller skating, come up to the door, we'll serve you some burgers or whatever. They could have easily done that for, like, a walk-up situation. Yep. People were very, familiar with those.
Yeah, 100%. And they never adapted the right way. And it's sad to see them go, but it's like, if you do not adapt, it's true, you die. And Frisch's just never changed their way and never changed. There's, like, a lot of things within that, and it's a shame to see them go, but hopefully there's someone that can come up and take the reins. But
it is funny thinking about all the big boys that are chained up, like, in those cages, when it's just like, dude, so many of the employees have been locked up behind bars too. So of course Big Boy is going to be, behind bars.
Of course. It's just because I have a ton of vintage Frisch's stuff. Like, I used to collect over the years.
Oh, dude, yeah, absolutely.
I have venues from the 50s.
We have so many just different, like, Frisch's paraphernalia, because they would just have so much, like, giveaway, like, stuff for Halloween, for Valentine's Day. There's a bunch of different, like, art, kind of like postcards that was kind of fun to draw on a whole bunch. We used to go there it was literally across, like, from our subdivision. So we went there a whole bunch when we were young.
There was one by our church. We would go for Sunday breakfast bar. And then there was one by my buddy's farm where we would get violently drunk on a Friday night, wake up, sometimes me in the middle of a field, and we'd roll up and be like, breakfast bar, and we would go down 52 and we'd hit that Frisch's, and the server we always had, I forget her name, but she knew we were hungover because she would give us smiley faces, and if we were very hungover that day, she would put X's through our eyes.
I love that, dude.
It was great.
Yeah, Frisch's has definitely soaked up a lot of booze the next morning, man. Those potatoes with the cheese just drizzle over top. Oh, girl, I can taste them now.
I can too, with the gravy. Yeah, dude. Yeah, just if they just did some small tweaks. There's a great article, I forget who wrote it, in the Enquirer last week, about how this lady is like, I'm saying goodbye to my local Frisch's, and she was like, and in typical fashion, they messed up my order. And I was like, yep, the check's out. She's like, I asked for onion rings, and they gave me fries. And when my burger came, she was like, I asked for onion rings. She said, oh, we're out, and then just walked away.
Classic Frisch's.
Classic. So, yeah, man, it's a shame to see it go, but you could see why it happened, and it was just too late for them to... I don't think it was too late for them to fix it. I just think that they just chose not to.
Probably.
Yeah, so...
Well, here's to you.
Here's to you, Frisch's. Big boy! Let's let's skip a bunch of this stuff. We went a little long on the top, but it's here to hear us talk about that. Let's talk about the World Series. Let's
buddy.
Jump right into the fucking World Series, huh? Yankees imploded.
They absolutely did. That was super embarrassing, and it really was awful to watch.
Yeah.
Because I did want to see them have some... I wanted to see it go 7. And this is going to go down as one of the most epic failures and implosions in World Series history.
Yeah. Yeah, a lack of accountability and responsibility on that field. 100%. What is Volpe doing turning to third? Get the outs. You have so much negative momentum going that way, and you just need outs.
That was a real good example of just like the game speeding up for everybody in those moments where these things just like that would never, you would figure that wouldn't happen in like a regular season game, or at least 9 times out of 10, they're going to make the correct play.
Yeah.
But that did not happen for so many of the Yankees during the 5th inning.
Just to start with Judge missing that easy fly ball, that liner right at him. Mm-hmm. Just watching his eyes drift and being like, I got it. It was just like, whoa, that is just the start of how bad this inning gets.
That's crazy because that play got overlooked so much by the Cole and Rizzo play. There was a lot of kerfuffles that led up to that.
There was a ton, and then including the big one. Who do you think that's on? Do you think that was on Rizzo or do you think that was on Cole?
I'm saying 80-20. I'm thinking 80 Cole, 20 Rizzo. Rizzo should be okay. When the ball was squibbing a little bit, so it wasn't like a straight shot where Rizzo is going to be. You're not going to be continually running to the ball to make that play. You're going to make the play on the ball to make sure you got it first before you then would say run to the bag to make that play. However, Cole just checked out immediately.
Yeah.
Rizzo clearly was not expecting that, and when he went to a full stop planted to then pitch, by the time he looked up and saw no one was going to be there, he's not going to be able to kick it in gear to beat Betts. So that is for sure. That's a split air, far more so for Cole.
I 100% agree with you because as soon as that ball took him back, Garrett Cole should have known to keep running. And how many hours do they fucking do that in goddamn March?
Absolutely.
And it's just like, how does that immediately disappear when you get to the World Series? Like, because that is something you should know, like taking a look, like back on his feet, like you said, on his heels. Cole needs to finish that run.
Yeah, that's muscle memory that he just, for whatever reason, broke out of it. So very peculiar.
Yeah, and Rizzo's the one who gets his option declined. Bullshit. I'm with you. I blame Garrett Cole. Volpe, that was a bad play. Judge, all of that. Also, I don't understand why you don't have a mound visit after the second error.
Yeah, you really need to slow down the game at that point because you're in the position of the Dodgers aren't going to beat you at that point. You're just going to give it away and trying to find those moments where you have to slow the game down. And there was a lot of opportunities for them to just have a little mound visit, do something to just like chill everybody out, and they just didn't do it.
They didn't, and that was insane to me that they were trying to hold on to those mound visits for later in the game when you're up 5-0 going into that inning, and you didn't give up a fucking hit.
Yeah, he had
and then didn't give up a hit for the rest of that inning.
What was it? Did he end up giving up one hit, or was it no hits? I can't remember.
He gave up 2 hits through the whole outing in 6 innings. Like, I guarantee you, he would have finished that game if it wasn't for that error by Judge to start the snowball. And that's accountability on Aaron Boone. He should have gone out there instead of being like, man, this could be a game changer. Instead, he just basically let 5 runs come across and be like, well, I guess I'll go slow it down. You took too long. He was out there for 24 minutes without even them like saying anything.
Yeah, and it does fall kind of like in the a little bit of the category of like the baseball magic in my mind. But I do think even like a few subtle things is like a couple great claps from the dugout will do something to kind of diffuse the energy. This is like when it gets into that thing of like you just got to know the game and know how to like connect with like those players because you could feel it. You could feel like that momentum, like oh, it's starting, and they didn't do anything to change course.
Nope, and that's on Booney. That is 100% on Booney. Even the bench coach should have leaned in. Brad Ausmus, who also butchered it when he was the manager of the Tigers with a super team, should have leaned in and been like, hey, Aaron, are we going to... Instead, they just got Tommy Kahnle to start warming up. And I was like, this is what we're going to fucking do when he's been cruising. You're gonna take one of your top relievers and have him start to warm up instead of stopping the fucking game. It was just so asinine. But, I mean, what Joe Kelly said, where he's like, yeah, we just had to grind him out. We knew we would beat them. We were a better team. And we just had to grind them out and put them in positions to make plays, and we knew that they wouldn't. And that, after him saying that on whatever podcast, was he being an asshole? Kind of. His tone's a little arrogant.
Yeah.
A little bit. But he was absolutely right.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't wrong for that. And there are that is a great strategy for a lot of teams, is allow the other team to make the mistakes. And the Yankees just had the pressure put on their shoulders, and they just kind of let it overtake them.
Yep, because they just weren't fundamentally sound, and the Dodgers knew that going into it. Just being like, if we don't make mistakes, they will. And they did the whole series.
Yeah, man. So an epic meltdown for the Yankees. It was a fun series, but I definitely wanted to see it go 7. But do you think there's going to be some repercussions for this?
They said Boone's coming back next year.
They did?
Yeah, sources are saying that Boone is back in 2025.
I thought for sure he was going to get let go after. And it's a crazy thing. What a wonderful world to be in if you're in the Yankees, that you can even discuss letting go of your general manager after he takes you to or is part of the World Series.
Yeah. Well, he's been there forever. And this, he finally got them there after being close to getting them there. And they just needed to play 2 AL Central teams to get there. And then they got there and then just got shellacked.
Yeah, in the moments where he did intervene, the times where it did seem like a manager Aaron Boone put his weight on a scale, it did not come out to reflect well on the team. It didn't benefit them. They lost. There was a handful of decisions he made or didn't make. Game 1, walking Mookie Betts, get to Freddie Freeman, and putting in a pitcher hasn't thrown in a month in the most high leverage situation. Yeah. So, in those situations, you're like, well, that is clearly a manager making those calls to set up those matches, and he didn't come through in pretty much most of those.
No. I mean, on the other side of it, Dave Roberts executed a gem. And as much shit as I talked, it was like, okay, that was a pretty good class on how you're supposed to manage a bullpen, especially in that last game, which was being like, hey, we're going to bust out Walker Buehler, who's never closed a game in his entire life. And aced it. Yeah,
man. It was super cool to seeing those high leverage situations when the Dodgers were able to live up to those moments, and seemingly they kept making all the right decisions, making great plays, grinding it out, and the Yankees were just on the receiving end of it, it seemed like.
Yeah. I know another thing that Joe Kelly said on that podcast, he was like, they were the worst team left. Like, they were the worst team if you reseeded the playoffs that we could have played. He's like, I agree with him. He's like, the route we took, which was taking care of the Padres, who were a better team than the Yankees, taking care of the Mets, who were a better team than the Yankees. Cleveland was a better team than the Yankees. They just couldn't hit and they weren't timely. He's like, those teams were better than what the Yankees gave us. And when we went and looked at our scouting reports, I was like, I completely agree with you. But that's just how it crumbled, and that's why the Yankees shot for that number 1 seed in that bye week, so they could just cruise right through. And then just what also sucks, this sucks the most, this is just the beginning.
Yeah? How so?
Dude, Shohei's going to pitch next year.
Yeah, man.
Fuck.
I know. It sucks, but it's also super, super cool.
Yeah. Do we really want to see a Dodgers dominance in our lifetime?
It's not guaranteed. It is absolutely not guaranteed. So a lot of these players are getting older.
Yeah.
The Dodgers, have a tendency to trip over themselves, not really do great in the regular season, and somehow screw it up in the postseason.
But they finally did it.
I know, but the thing is, I'm so stoked to see the Reds battle this team. I like the David versus Goliath. I still hate large organizations that have a clear edge over small market teams, the Reds included.
Theft.
However, I am excited for the players that were on this Dodgers team.
Yeah, I am too.
But if it, mark my words here and then show me it later. If it, I'm fast forward and they're just dominating all the years.
Yeah.
But for now, I enjoyed it. I did enjoy the series.
I mean, here's the crazy part. A lot went wrong. Think about who was in that rotation that was hurt, that did not pitch. Shohei Ohtani, Clayton Kershaw, Dustin May, Tyler Glasnow, Bobby Miller. That's another rotation. And they're going to get all of those dudes back next year. And Ohtani.
Correct.
So, fuck, man. And look, I understand that this is good for the players because it signals to owners, spend money, win chips. Not the Moneyball bullshit where they're like, well, we could win it for $77 million. Look at us. I understand that it's good for players. They get paid more. It shows you get what you pay for. But this sucks.
Yeah, it could be a real bummer if this really starts to trend in this direction where you just have these dynasties based around money and just not even using using other teams as their farm systems. That's the thing I really want to avoid, which is currently what is going on with the Dodgers and the Yankees for the most part. But I will enjoy the Reds next year. I think they will be competitive. I do want to see a couple teams go up against these larger conglomerates.
Sure.
And then if they do too well, I want to see him just completely torn to pieces.
I mean,
tear down the monopolies.
Look, dude, the Reds had winning records against the Dodgers and the Yankees this year. Okay,
it can be done.
It can be done, but it's just being built for the postseason. And so far, that hasn't happened because we haven't won a series of postseason baseball since 1995.
So you're saying we're due?
We're due, baby. We're due. I don't. It's just a bummer that we'll just have to live through it and deal with it, especially with Ohtani's contract being in an escrow account. I mean, even Teoscar Hernandez had deferred money and it was a 1-year deal. That's the type of shit where I'm like, we're bending the rules. Even though it says you can do it, you're still bending them for a gargantuan organization. So it's hard to be like, man, I'm really happy for the city of Los Angeles where they have perfect weather all the time. And it's, so, and they can just spend money but not spend money and then actually spend money. So that's my big problem, but I'm happy for them. They finally got it. We can't say this was a Mickey Mouse World Series.
No, we'll get back on the hate train here come spring training.
We'll start the hate.
Don't you worry.
Don't worry. We'll be real angry. You know who was not angry? The city of Los Angeles and their fine residents. They know how to party.
Yeah, they do.
Dude, did you think that they would be that chaotic?
Yeah.
You had no doubt in your mind that they would burn a bus to the struts.
Just one.
Just one.
I figured it'd be more. To be quite honest, it's people. Los Angeles, baby, get have fun, get out there, light a bus on fire. I heard they didn't even know that they won the series. That was just a random bus. That's just what Greyhounds do after a while.
Yeah, they just set them down and they're like, get them, boys.
Insurance claim.
Here we go. Light up the flares. Terry brought the gasoline.
Yeah, dude. I mean, people party wild, man. I know. I'm not getting behind it, but still, it's crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's not like Minnesota 2020 where they burned down a Target.
Yeah.
Those are Hall of Fame numbers.
Yeah, we're not touching that.
No, one bus, a couple couches, one dude shooting himself in the face with fireworks. That was pretty funny. I would say that when they won was crazy. The parade seemed fairly tame itself. I would, if that came, I don't know if that what would happen if that came here.
Now, if they burned a car or a bus during the parade,
shit.
One that was there, if they burned a bus that had Shohei and other people on it, and they had to jump off of it, that would be pretty cool. They just start burning the buses in the parade.
They get some of the players off, and then they're like, actually, no, leave decoy on. We're gonna have hot dog.
There we go,
dude. Yeah, that would have been sick, but. It didn't. And then the festivities, dude, how drunk Jack Flaherty got was amazing.
I didn't see that. He got really drunk?
Oh, dude, they were interviewing him, and then, he went to stand up, and when he stood up, he almost fell over the seat.
Nice.
So hammed. And then, Oral Hershiser had to catch him and be like, all right, cut!
You gotta love that.
Gotta love it. Kike Hernandez calling out not so fat Joe. Another classic clip where you get to just stand on stage and be heels and give everyone bulletin board material for 2025.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
I can't wait. I can't wait to hear what unfiltered thoughts come out of some Reds' mouths when we get to have our parade. How many buses do you think? How many City Connects are going to be burnt down?
Yeah, they're going to get a couple streetcars. They're getting them off the rails.
Yeah. Take the streetcars off the rails. We're burning down everywhere. We're burning down the brass ass in Newport. We're coming for you. That place probably will not burn.
That will never burn.
No, it has a bunch of thick lacquer, human human origin liquids, so it'll just be great. It'll be like a stunt double that puts that like thick paste on them, and they have to do like a fire scene.
Yes, absolutely.
It's completely fire retardant.
It's retardant, and then you know how hard it is to burn a tick or a flea. Yeah. You gotta get them off you. That's what that place is. Mm-hmm. It's definitely just all bed bugs taking over at this point. Mm-hmm. Hard to burn them.
No, okay. You can't. No, sorry.
You're just nodding. I'm like, yeah. Oh, fucking. Now I want to go to the brass ass.
Grab me one of those Bud Lights.
Oh, okay.
We got to clear out the fridge. Sorry, it's been an issue. There's just too much stuff in that fridge.
I know, and it's a liquidation sale.
Yeah.
I totally understand. Well, I think it might be time to launch into why we're all here. Cincinnati Reds. Okay. What'd you think this was?
I thought you were going to be like selling stuff.
The reason we're all here. Yeah, dude, I'm really peddling my wares right now.
We're hawking portions of this bar.
We're hawking that too, dude.
Here we are.
Hey, come on. So there was some stuff that happened. The biggest thing that has happened so far in Reds country is the Reds extended the qualifying offer to Nick Martinez. 1 year, $21 million. And I'm telling you right now, he's turning that down.
Yeah, he's going to be able to shop around here. He's actually going to be a hot commodity, probably. If you're looking to have someone in the bullpen or a starter, very versatile dude, has a lot of pitches that I'm sure some pitching coaches feel that they can work with him on. And he had an amazing season when you look back at what he did for the Reds.
Yeah, I would want that. If I'm a younger team, I would be like, oh boy, a guy with veteran leadership who has 9 different pitches and everyone says is an absolute delight to be with. Sign me up. I mean, that's someone you could see going to like the Tigers. That's someone that would fit in with the Royals. That's someone who fits perfectly with the Cincinnati Reds. They need to cough it up, and whatever the market value is, sign into that 3-year deal, get him that 40 to 45 million bucks, and keep him around.
Is it going to happen?
I think it will. I mean, why not? I mean, that is one of the big things that we've talked about, is having that veteran 5th starter. It makes sense to bring him back. He wants to stay here. Keep him here.
That was my question, if he wants to stay here, because it makes absolute sense for the Reds. He did such a great job for him and fills numerous roles that the Reds desperately needed last year. And it seems to be gelling well with the clubhouse.
Yeah.
So if he wants to stay, that was like my big question, because he could probably fish around in the market and get some good offers.
He could, and I think it's going to be around what everyone has reported multiple times, which is 3 to 40 to 45. Now, if you're him, why would you take 121 when you could almost double that and have more years? He's 34. It's his last chance to get a bag.
Yeah, I think he's going to try to get optimum value out of this, or at least whoever his agent is. And I think he'd be very happy and content staying with the Reds. But at the end of the day, the money's going to move. So I really, really hope that he can stay with Cincinnati, because he was such an integral part for this clubhouse. So please stay, Nick. We need you, buddy.
We need you. And you saw how valuable good bullpen arms were this postseason. And this is a guy where you look at him and you go, he can start for me, or he can come out of the pen, and that's exactly what you need in October baseball. And Nick Martinez is the ideal guy to build around with the Reds outside of that young core.
I'm thinking about like a Luke Weaver when he kind of like found himself.
Dude, fuck him.
I know. I was going to say it's probably going to be the greatest comparison, but just finding a guy that has like a versatility enough to where you can put him in a relieving role. We put him in high leverage situations, and you can also have him as your 5th starter when you already have a great core blossoming, from the starting, rotation standpoint with the Reds. So he's going to be difficult to replace that piece.
Yeah. And guess what? You don't have to replace him. Just sign him and bring him back.
Let's do it.
That's our petition here at the New Nasty Boys. Pro Nick Martinez staying in Cincinnati.
It's always been a pro Nick Martinez podcast.
It always has been. Anti-Luke Weaver for sure. So the Reds also re-signed Brent Suter. 1 year, $2.5 million with a club option for 2026 for $3 million with a $350,000 buyout. What a great move!
Great guy.
Won the Joe Nuxall Good Guy Award. It's a big deal. Also, I mean, he was a dependable lefty. The only time that he got into shit was when someone botched a ball.
True. He was a guy that seemed, when he went on the mound, I didn't feel like the moment would be too big for him. He's not a guy that's going to get flustered. So a guy that is like a veteran, essentially, presence out there. So, yeah, and he's a hometown dude. Covcath guy. Why not? Right? No, not Covcath.
No, Moeller.
Moeller, yeah. I was thinking of Luke Maile.
St. X. Pride of Nagel Middle School, Billy DeVore and Brent Suter.
That's true. I've heard that. I saw the plaques.
You saw the plaques? It's a big deal. Mm-hmm. Some might say it's big league. Mm-hmm. Some might say it's big league. Very big league. But yeah, dude, I think it's a great move. And a $350,000 buyout, if he flames out this year, is nothing. But I don't see that with how reliable, dependable, fast healing he is.
Yeah, that's super cool.
That's so cool, man. He's like Wolverine if he was a lefty.
Yeah.
He's so cool.
We need the quick healers on the team.
Quick healers. Get out X35. Who's that? Brent Suter.
How quickly can your scars reheal?
Who needs spider tack when you have aluminum bones? Mm-hmm. Aluminium bones. Aluminium. Dude, so yeah, I'm really hyped on that. The Reds did not bring back Luke Maile. That's your Covcath guy.
True.
Not bummed.
I'm not bummed.
I'm not either.
I need to figure out, because I was talking to you about this, because I played at Newcath, and I'm pretty sure Luke Maile was on the same team at Covcath when I was playing him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's my age, I think. He's 34.
You know what I'm saying is I got a qualifying offer from the Reds to take Luke Maile's position. But no, I'm not surprised by this.
First thing I type in Luke to look up. Isn't that hurtful?
It says Luke Weaver.
It says Luke.
And there's a middle finger right there, too.
What a shame.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I may have been on the field with him a couple times.
He was born February 6, 1991. So he's 33 in 272 days.
I'm 3 years older.
Yeah, you could have played him.
I think I maybe. But yeah, that if I wouldn't have played him, he would have been on a better track for a career. I think I threw him off.
Yeah, that's
with that home run I hit in districts. I think that really threw him off.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, he probably learned from your swing.
He probably did. That's why he's not getting signed again. No, he was a great dude.
Good clubhouse guy.
But I think past his prime as far as being able to catch up to a fastball.
And organizationally, you have younger guys coming. Mm-hmm. There's one guy that Jake is really high on. I'm going to look it up right now, and I should have been prepared.
Is it a catcher in our organization?
Yeah. Oh, boy, huh? This is me trying to figure this out.
Well, we had Matt McClain playing center field recently.
Alfredo Duno, who's going to be up here by 20. No, there was somebody else that we both really, really liked a couple years ago, and we put him in the lockbox, and we said, well, come and check on him in 2 years, and now that's coming. Son of a bitch.
Well, to bring up a conversation we probably aren't going to really even delve into, but to cover some of the air here, Matt McClain playing center field. I mean, if it's just to get him some more at-bats, I'm for it, but I don't understand why you would want to move somebody who is already your best second baseman to try and open up a spot for someone that's going to be not as good to play there. Mm-hmm. When you could just have that person trained to be your center fielder. That's just my flat-out opinion of that. And Ellie is your shortstop.
Yeah, I don't... So I guess he played it in college. So that's kind of why they're moving him there. And a lot of it in Arizona was just so they could get at-bats.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. I'm not going to find this guy.
That's fine. I wasn't reading into it too much. I just know that conversation was floating around out there. So you have my word that regardless of where he plays, he'll be great. But I don't want to see them shifting around too many players that seem to already be locks for where they're positioned.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just don't want him. He's been glass. He got the hurt at the end of 23. He was out all this year. Mm-hmm. I just want him in a position where there's less impact. And I feel like in center field, that's a lot more wear and tear than second base.
100%. That is one of the main top reason why I do not want Ellie out in a space where he just has open field to run. That is a recipe for him to show off his, how quick he is, and my goodness, there's just too much stuff to go wrong. So
I agree. It's just silly. it's interesting because we've got two players who are up for Silver Slugger awards with Elliott short and India at second. I think that the reason India is getting nominated for the Silver Slugger is not. I'm not saying that his bat is bad or any way, shape, or form. What I'm saying is the lack of offensive depth at second base allows for him to be in the discussion for that. Now, if you were to put him at another position, he would not be in that discussion. So that shows you that the position itself is more valuable for the glove than the bat itself. That means you can just move India to right field and keep TJ in center field.
Oh my God, it's like baseball and numbers mean something to you. It's just infuriating to me, like why we're trying to accommodate for things that just make us not as effective. So,
I know, I'm with you. And guess what, dude? There's nothing wrong with having Jonathan India under contract next year and have him be the super utility.
And this is not at all like a stab at whatever. At India, he's a phenomenal baseball player.
He's a terrible second baseman.
That is it. So, like, his bat can be effective when he is in the correct spot. Maybe he's coming off the bench. Maybe he is that super utility player, but he can't be your everyday second baseman.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
And if he's healthy, that's the big one, dude. Especially when you look back at 22. And 20. He was hurt a good chunk of 23 as well.
Yeah,
he didn't take a lot of trips this year, but still had some issues with that knee.
He probably would have had some more trips if it wasn't as much of a necessity for him to still be up there playing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, his health is for sure an issue with that. But, yeah, he should not be in the infield unless he's at first base.
First base, you could put Indy at third. That's where he played in college. You could put McLean at third. There's a lot that you can do to keep him out, to keep Matt McLean out of the outfield. And I just don't see it. And especially if they go out and they sign a big right field bat. Please do that.
There's going to be so many different things that I just love thinking about how this puzzle piece is going to work together here. Oh, we get to speculate. Oh, it's one of our favorite things.
Ty France, Austin Wynns, and Jacob Junis were placed on waivers and elected free agency. So was TJ Antone, but he came back and he got sent down. He's had his third Tommy John. I hope he comes back. I hope he pitches well in Louisville. I hope he recovers, and it's a great story. I'm glad he's still in the organization, but there was no need to pay him outright and go in arbitration.
No. Good luck to you, TJ. Wish you all the best here. Going to definitely be following your story, see if you can come back and just climb that hill again.
Yeah. Ty France was due probably between $8 and $8.5 million in ARB. I wouldn't have done it either. I think that they made the right call there. And on the Austin Wynns, that was the right call. He cost us that game in Tampa Bay. I will never forgive him for that. And Jacob Junis, as well as he pitched, I just don't see them picking up that option, which they didn't, and let him walk and get paid somewhere.
Yeah, I think if Jacob, Ty France as well, if they would have had more time, they could have had more arguments for us to pay, whatever the $8 million was for Ty France. But yeah, these guys came in towards the end of last year, a little difficult to make a hard impression on a team that was barely flirting with 500. So
yeah, and I don't want to I'm not putting them in a negative light. I'm not trying to be
not at all
rude, but what I am saying is you aren't taking that next step that we think they're going to take with Ty France, Austin Wynns, and Jacob Junis on your roster getting meaningful playing time. That's just not how it works.
I agree with that.
I'm glad you do, pal.
I do, man.
Yeah, this is so good. I'm glad
we're agreeing on these things.
We're firing, baby. One thing we didn't cover last week due to time constraints. Fuck you, Zoom. One thing we did not cover due to time constraints. The Reds have announced a new hitting coach and a more important title, Director of Hitting, Chris Valleca.
Cool, man.
Remember that guy? Yeah, remember the early 10s, came up in the org, then went over to Miami for a little bit, then went to Chicago for the Cubbies for a little bit. And then now he was an assistant hitting coach in Cleveland with the Guardians and worked with Terry Francona, and now he's here. Are you excited in that at all?
I am excited just because it seems like all these decisions are being made off of actual variables that they know. It seems like, we know the path. We want to get this person for these reasons and this reason. It seems like they have some sort of game plan, whereas before there's very little happening.
Yeah.
In the off season where it's just this thing, okay, that doesn't affect whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, we're doing this with purpose, and there are these connections here. So it gets me excited.
Yeah. What really got me excited was director of hitting. Mm-hmm. That means that the entire organization will be streamlined into what he thinks everyone's approach should be, what they're looking for in a swing. And hopefully it means more tech, because that's what Cleveland's also really good at, is getting just good, clean tech, baby.
Yeah, man, I think a nice organization to really kind of like boost up and elevate the Reds like hitting program. I think that will trickle for a while. If they can really institutionalize like that within the Reds organization, yeah, that gets me excited in the offseason.
Yeah, because look at what they did in Cleveland. I mean, offensively this year, aside from the wind tunnel, that really helped, but like their approach in general. Mm-hmm. I mean, all of those guys had, like, when you look at it, it's like high contact, a lot of line drives. Those line drives turn into homers, which is exactly what Nick Krall wants these guys to have with their approach.
Yeah, on base machines, get on, next man up in the order. That's what the Dodgers did. Next man up mentality. Of course, I mean, they also have phenomenal players, but that's sort of like, don't make the out, don't try to like sell yourself out for the big swing.
Yeah, and they have more money than God, so that helps. But
True.
Cleveland coming in, it's like we're trying to get every ounce out of you, because that's what we do here. Our resource isn't money, it's knowledge and tech and getting our foot in front of it in any type of way. So that gets me very excited. Anything that coming from Cleveland, I'm very happy with, because they are a consistent winning organization. Lastly, this is exciting. Dave Parker, the Cobra, has been placed on the Classic Baseball Era Committee ballot. About time, dude. The Cobra should be in the Hall of Fame, and this should have happened 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. When you think about like some of the names that are not in the Hall, it's just this fun thing we do, talk about the Hall of Fame. But why is Dave Parker not in that when you just review some of these people that have just been like boxed out?
So Dave wasn't in there for his cocaine scandal.
Oh, okay.
He was doing a lot of cocaine.
I was going to say, was he not doing enough cocaine?
No, he was doing a lot more than everybody else. I mean, they were saying he was doing about $2,000 worth of blow a day. Which, like, what a cool guy.
That's awesome, man.
That's so great.
And he managed to keep a day job? This guy rocks.
Rocks.
Yeah.
You got to break him up.
Yeah.
Push him down. God. If you hear anything, it's just me and the boys bopping and snorting.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Classic Dave Parker quote. But dude, like, no matter outside of that, he did the time. He got a slap on the wrist. He got suspended. It's like, my bad. Okay. But you hear all these other crazy stories about people doing amphetamines and cocaine.
Yeah, that was the thing. They called them like greenies and stuff. Like in
Greenies.
the 60s, used to just chew uppers. Like, take pills, like, in the dugout. That was just, like, a thing. Like, oh, you need a little Advil? You need a little upper?
Here you go, pal.
Let me hit your wife in the stands? What are we going to do here?
Here you go, buddy. Just take a whole bunch of these. Open up, Johnny.
I mean, if we're talking about Dave Parker not being let in from cocaine, and Ty Cobb is...
Yeah, for murdering someone in the streets.
Yeah.
And being loudly racist.
Yeah, he was known as a racist in a time where everyone was... Like, he was the loudest racist. Do you understand how... Like, when people in, like, the 40s and, like, the 30s, wherever it was, were saying, like, this guy's a bit much over here.
Yeah, it's like, I hate those people, but this guy hates them more.
Yeah.
And very loud about... Yeah, like there's a story out there that Ty Cobb, like, murdered someone. So whatever, yeah, like... I know that everyone's an isolated incident, and you look at each case, whatever, but it's about time that Dave Parker's in there. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yeah, so what? Cocaine, who cares?
Yeah, it's not like he did anything like, yeah, it's a drug thing, but he wasn't hurting anybody. No. He's not an awful guy.
No. Well, the thing was that there was a spotlight on him because he was the first dude to sign for like $1 million, and they were like, whoa. This guy's getting paid a lot. They're like, yeah. So everybody was honed in and focused on him, and then they were like, oh, cocaine.
Yeah, we got to bring him down.
Got to bring him down so we can pay him less. Looking at the rest of this ballot, though, you've got Dick Allen, you have Ken Boyer, Josh Donaldson, very important in the Negro Leagues. Steve Garvey, Vic Harris. I don't know a whole lot about Vic Harris. I'm going to do some more digging around on that. Tommy John, Dave Parker, and Luis Tiant, or Luis Taint, if you will, who recently passed away last October. Who do you got getting into the Hall, aside from Dave Parker, from this list?
I went Dick Allen in there. If you guys haven't read the book Crash, it's an amazing biography on Dick Allen. Traces his coming up through the league when he started out, I believe, with the Phillies. He won Rookie of the Year. He ended up going to the White Sox later, became the AL MVP, has some amazing numbers. I mean, this dude had, light tower power. In the era in the early 60s, what he was going through when he first started out his career, I believe, in Alabama. Amazing stories. If you want to hear anything about tenacity and just the will of just being a strong individual, read the book Crash, and that is just so much information to just build an amazing resume for Dick Allen. And look at his numbers. They are some serious high quality numbers, and he did have some at least a stretch of a couple serious injuries involving him just fixing his car where he had some freak accident. But that's my number one, dude. This guy had a boomstick, and he was all man.
Oh man, he was big boy.
Yeah, he was an amazing individual. Did not get pushed around by people in a day and age where a lot of players just took it. Yeah. He shoved back, and that's the reason why he's not in the Hall of Fame today.
Good for dude. Loudmouth let you know what's up.
Yeah, he didn't take it.
He didn't take it. So I'm with you on Dick Allen. I need to read that book still. I have your copy.
That's all right.
It has moved from the apartment to the house, so it's in the queue.
It's quite all right, brother.
Steve Garvey is someone I think is going to get in because of his postseason numbers.
Okay.
Dude, postseason, 338, 361, 550, 910 OPS in 222 plate appearances. 11 home runs, 31 RBIs. So I mean, dude, those are some good postseason numbers. And I mean, he was an MVP, 2-time NLCS MVP, 4-time Gold Glove, 2-time All-Star MVP, and a 10-time All-Star. That sounds like a Hall of Famer to me. And I think that he's one of those guys when it was the 80s dominant the 80s Dodger run, where they forgot about how good he was. When we're going to look back in probably 10, 20 years, we're going to be why isn't Bernie Williams and Jorge Posada, why are they not in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, there's just people that get looked over because the dominance of the teams that they were on.
Yes. And you just forget about that from day to day. I think Josh Donaldson gets in because of his importance. Ken Boyer, it looks like a Hall of Famer to me by the numbers. Luis Tiant had some really good seasons, but I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
He had some memorable things in postseason going against, especially the Reds.
Yeah.
So he was a big name, and of course he's a character. So he has an argument, but I think it's a lot more personality based.
I agree. Tommy John, I don't think he gets in. I think his name is important because of the surgery. He was a good pitcher. But I don't, and again, I know the Hall of Fame is about being able to tell the story of baseball. He's still in there by saying look, we have the first ligament that we removed from his arm, and it's in this case. You can see it right here. This is the first time I shot. But I don't see him getting in on his merit and stats alone. And again, one of those guys who pitched for the Dodgers in the 80s.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. He's not known really for his... he wouldn't really be known for his playing abilities if it wasn't for the surgery.
Agreed. So we got Dick Allen, Josh Donaldson, Steve Garvey, Dave Parker. That's a big class.
That's cool, man. Oh, man, cool. I want to see some of these guys get in. It's super fun. They get to revisit some of these players and let some people in this fun little hall.
Let Dave Parker in before he goes, man. The guy's got Parkinson's. Give him that satisfaction.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's round third and head for home.
If you're going to be in Boston, Wednesday, I'm going to be at the White Bull Tavern for Hideout Comedy. If you're going to be in Asheville, sorry for everything. I'm going to try to make it a little bit better. I'll be there 23rd and 24th. I'm going to post the exact locations of that. And also, if Cincinnati on the 30th, I will be at Comet. So check that out. Billy?
Today, I will be at Second Story in Covington doing a comedy show on election night to let you think about the election. It's $25. You get a free drink with that. You get one of their fancy little cocktails included with the price of your ticket. So
nice.
Think about it. You're getting like a $15 drink, and then you're getting a $10 show.
I haven't been there yet. Second Story?
Yeah, they got a tree in the bar. I haven't been there yet either.
I got to check it out.
I've heard it's pretty cool. So we're doing that. And then Friday night, I am at the Urban Stead Cidery in Carmel, Indiana. I'll be headlining that with friend of the pod, John Holmes, and Ricky Glore. So please come out to either one of those shows if you're available this week. And if you live in Carmel, Indiana, or Covington, Kentucky. And then please, if you haven't, watch my special. It's called Winded. It's on YouTube.
Give it a shot. Check it out. So, I know we plugged that last week, but seriously, check out Billy's special. Super awesome, super funny, and it was shot locally here at Commonwealth, a great, great comedy club. Give it a goog.
Give it a goog. Give it a look. Give it a good time. So, thank you, Sports Drink, for hosting the audio of this podcast. Appreciate it. InTheClutch.com, promo code NastyBoys, all caps. We're about to have some fun Christmas baseball player themed stuff. Also, thanks for having me down here. It feels good to be back.
Was there any company with a strap thing, or are we doing that?
Not yet. We're still working on it.
Just making sure.
Nope, we haven't finalized that yet. Cincy Strap Co, baby, we're working on it.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I love to have you down here, and I know we're wrapping it up, and I think we just got a handful more shows coming up for the year, but just love to have you here, love to have you guys here.
We will not be back next week, or probably the week after. Okay, we're going to take a break. We have fucking earned it.
Yeah, the Reds take a break, we take a break.
We take a break. Unless something happens, we'll be back. I don't know, we might fool around with just seeing if someone wants to talk on a Zoom and do some postseason stuff, or just talk about the Reds, whatever. But yeah, dude, like, we're going to take a little break, okay? I'm sweaty. I'm tired.
We got to let the fart dunge kind of air out just a little bit. You know, this is how it goes.
This is me getting the last couple November sniffs in.
Out with the old, in with the new.
That's right. So we'll be back sporadically. You got, it's good. And we'll when it's time to ramp up, you'll know when it's time to ramp up. Because you'll just see something, and it'll be like, oh my God, I wonder if the new Nasty Boys are going to talk about it. You bet your fucking ass we will.
Yeah, and we'll post clips. We'll be posting some stuff. Billy and I will do some Zooms. We'll post some stuff out there. So
yeah,
please keep watching. Please keep supporting the Reds. Keep the faith.
Keep the faith. Thank you for watching and or listening. And as always, go Red Legs.
Go Red Legs.